Hello, I'm Tripwire. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again for the Dark Souls Remastered slow play. As you can see, we are back here in Anor Londo, the Twilight Anor Londo, because we got rid of the illusion. So, we came from up there. That's where the bonfire that we warped to is. Straight ahead of us is the castle, but what we're interested in is actually going to be down from this lift. So I figured before we head into the painted world, I might as well show you the encounter with Dark Son Gwendolyn. So what we're going to do is, I think I just turned this the wrong way. No, I didn't. Okay, that's good. Sometimes I confuse myself. So anyway, as you might remember, this is the chapel we were in, where we were up on the rafters in order to first access the rest of Anor Londo. The chandelier dropped because we cut down the chain. Lots of painting guardians in this room. And across the way there is the enormous painting that will lead us to the painted world. So it's right in the same area as the boss anyway, so I figured we would come on down here and get this going. So instead of taking the path there, you actually have to go down to the bottom of the staircase, and this will connect us to the Dark Moon Tomb, where we can find the Dark Son Gwendolyn. And you might recall that earlier in the playthrough we acquired the Dark Moon Seance Ring. Grants additional attunement slots. We found that down in the catacombs, and that is actually required to access Dark Son Gwendolyn's chamber if you didn't get rid of the illusion of Gwendolyn. So since we already betrayed that and broke the illusion, this statue is not here. There would be a statue and a solid wall here if you had left the illusion alive. And then all you'd need to do is equip that Dark Moon Seance Ring and stand in front of this, and it would just disappear like an illusory wall and reveal it. And then when you got to the bottom, he would say, "Stop! What are you doing? Swear your oath, your fealty to me." We also get the Ring of the Sun's Firstborn. Boosts miracles. So if you're using a faith build, using miracles that do damage, that will increase their damage. So now we've got a bonfire. However, I can rest here if I want to, but I'm not allowed to respawn here. Because if I go in and fight Gwendolyn and I die, I'll respawn somewhere else. This is not a valid respawn point if you're not in their good graces, and I'm certainly not in their good graces. So if I try to kill him and then respawn because I died, it won't be right here, so there's no point in me resting at that bonfire. Let's see if he still talks when you approach. Nope, he's got nothing to say. So it's only when you haven't shattered the illusion that he'll say something to you. You'll step here and he'll be like, "Stop! Before you make a mistake, join my covenant," and he'll offer you the chance to side with them instead. So all we need to do is step through here, and the encounter with Dark Son Gwendolyn will begin.
Heretic. First thou offendeth the Godmother, and now thou see fit to trample upon the tomb of the great Lord. I am the Dark Son, Gwendolyn. Let the atonement for thy felonies commenceth.
So Gwendolyn is also a very interesting character, and the boss fight with Gwendolyn takes place in this long, seemingly infinite hallway. When you get too close, he teleports further away. I believe there is actually an end to this hallway, but it takes a very long time to run to it. So we're not going to bother trying. And this is the reason that Great Magic Barrier is very helpful for this boss encounter, is that he uses mainly magic attacks, and then he also uses the arrow attack. If you get comboed and get hit by all those little pieces right there, it can just straight up kill you. He's going to try to teleport away. We're going to get a hit in. Oh, we do really good damage. We do really good damage. But you can easily die if you attempt this earlier in the game. Or if you get hit by his magic attacks, they're quite strong. Shit. So, notice how he mentioned this is the tomb of the Great Lord. The Great Lord being Gwyn. So, his father. So, he's trying to keep alive the illusion that Anor Londo is still a good place that has hope, and he's guarding where his father's buried.
Swathed in dark, an eternal curse upon thee.
You also might notice that he had tentacles instead of legs. In the lore and the story, he was shunned for being different. We get his soul, and now the hallway is normal length. And if you turn around, it's like you traveled no distance at all. If you die in here, you have to fight Gwendolyn and keep running down the hallway to the point where you were at when you died. So your souls won't be right at the start. Because the hallway is magical. They will have dropped like down far, like as far as you went the last time. So here is the tomb of Gwyn. This enormous, little tiny flowers. Enormous. We're gonna call it coffin. I don't know. So there's 3 chests. I think 2 are empty. That one's empty. Oh, this one's not empty. There we go, get the brass armor set. And this one gives us Sunlight Blade, which is a pretty cool miracle that buffs your weapon. So again, if you're using miracles at all, Sunlight Blade, pretty sweet one. This actually makes me curious, like, I don't know, like this is where Gwyn is buried, but we still fight him. He linked the flame. He's in the kiln of the first flame. Was this ceremonial, or is his body actually in there? Separate from what we fight. I don't know. I don't actually know how that works. So anyway, I'm not going to teleport out because remember this, I would respawn somewhere else. Neither of the bonfires here are valid. I think I'd respawn back at wherever I was prior to coming to Anor Londo. So I'm just going to come back here and run up these steps and, well, I might as well rest here and level up. And then we're going to run up the steps and head into the Painted World. So Gwendolyn, if you have high DPS and you know what it, like, he only has 3 attacks. Like, if you know how best to dodge them, he's not that hard. It's just that if you don't and you get hit by the attacks, they also hit you very hard, so. And 2 out of his 3 attacks are magic based, so if you have that great magic barrier on, you're totally fine. And you can even be a little reckless about it. Alright, here we go. So remember there's going to be a painting guardian running to the left, waiting to ambush us. Traded, it's fine. So this room has a shit ton of these guys in it. It's rather unpleasant. They pretty commonly drop throwing knives. You can see there's another one behind that pillar over there. And again, these enemies can get vacuum backstabs, so don't have your back turned to them for too long. I'm gonna aggro a few of them. I totally missed. The range on this weapon is definitely helping us out against these guys. That should not have missed. Did you see that? That's a vacuum backstab. Literally all I did was turn so I could try to dodge away. And he like zooped right to my back, or like my back zooped right to him. That's a vacuum backstab. It's bullshit. It's just not how it should be, but it is. This is the item that was up on the chandelier. Great magic weapon. So we have both great magic weapon and great magic barrier. Great magic weapon is like barrier, so that it's offensive. So it applies magic damage, really good magic damage, might I add, to your weapon. Dude. Well. Okay. I'm actually almost fucking dead because of him chaining those attacks and making me stagger. Good thing the bleed didn't hit, otherwise I'd actually be dead. I gotta rock some poise, man. This is not a good armor set for anything but resisting poison and toxin, really. I also don't have to be fighting these guys. That's my own choice. This is not necessary. It's somewhat self-inflicted. There's this final painting guardian in the back corner here, guarding an item. We'll smoosh him. It is the Black Iron set and the Black Iron Great Shield. So Black Iron Tarkus, who we summon for the Iron Golem boss fight, apparently he tried coming to Anor Londo and did not make it. Alright, so here we are at the enormous painting, and you can walk up to it and examine it, and the only way you actually get in is if you have this, the peculiar doll that we picked up back in the asylum in our original jail cell where we started the game. You need that to get in. So you press examine. And there we go. Into the painting. Now, the painted world of Ariamis is very interesting because once you're in here, there's no way to leave without completing it. You can homeward bone, it's not going to work. You can select warp from the one bonfire in the painted world area, and it'll tell you that it's not connected to the other network of bonfires. There's no way to leave without completing this area. Luckily for veteran players, there is a shortcut, so you don't need to do literally everything there is to do here. If you don't want to, you can just skip right to the boss fight, basically. And I do believe that I'm not going to be doing everything there is to do here. There's some parts that are unpleasant, like going down the well in the courtyard. That leads to some unpleasantness. But again, I encourage you to do it all at some point. So, very familiar bonfire. And a door that does not open from this side. Also, I have no idea if I rested at the bonfire. I'm almost certain I did, but just to be certain, I'm going to rest. I guess it doesn't really matter, because you can't leave once you're here. I can't believe that hit me. So, that took a bit of damage off of me. You might have guessed, but these hollows are not as weak as the hollows back in the Undead Burg. This takes place significantly after. Without getting up there, you can actually knock this guy down with a well-placed arrow, I believe. Yep, there you go. Out of humanity. So, the only path forward is up these steps. Immediately around the corner, you're going to have to fight a hollow with a bow. And you're also going to get aggroed by another hollow. And another hollow. And another hollow with a bow at the top of the steps. Dude, stop. Alright, I'm mid-rolling anyway because of this Y-handed. Let's just switch up my armor a little bit. This stuff provides no poise, and I'm getting a little fucking tired of it, you know? I'm getting a little tired of it. Let's see, what should we wear? Shadow Guard we just picked up, but it's not actually any better. That's definitely not going to be giving us any more poise. But the thing is, I don't want it to be too heavy either. Those are all very heavy. Hard leather armor has no poise. Okay. Silver Knight armor has 19 poise, but it's also very, very heavy. What if I do the top and the leggings? Now we've got 30 poise. What about this? Can I throw this in there? Still mid-roll. I'll take it. So now our movement actually sounds different. You can hear our armor clinking. And fun fact, that actually matters in this game. I'm toxic. I'm mad. These are still equipped. So if you kill these guys, they emit a cloud of toxic gas. It wasn't visible because I pancaked them with the Zweihander. I was curious if I would still get toxic, and sure did. The only reason I got toxic is because I got hit by both of them at the exact same moment. But fun fact, it actually matters how loud you are like this. Like how far away enemies will notice you from, because obviously they have a cone of vision in front of them, but then they also hear sounds in a bubble all around them. And if your armor sounds like this, they're going to notice you from further away because it's louder. So if you come up this little side path here, there's a couple more hollows. Another one here at the top of the steps. And up here is an item and an interesting little ambush. So you can actually get a glimpse of it. If you look across, you'll see there's some harpy-looking things kind of staring at us. Up there, there's a bunch actually in this area. And a couple are going to come to say hi. See? Now these things are pretty strong, and they have a pretty devastating grab attack where they'll jump on your head. So be careful of these things. We were ready for it, though. We were ready for it. And if you notice, one of the details here is the snow stops. It's like the snow is everywhere on this rooftop except for right here. So it's a visual indicator that you should explore over here. And sure enough, you walk off and you get this item. The only way to get it. So now we've dropped into the building next to us, and it's got an item and some rats in the bottom floor here. And this hollow apparently aggroed. I don't know where from, but he sure aggroed. Alright, let's get back up here. Sorry if the sound of the walking annoys you now with this armor. I apologize. Whoa, I walked really slowly through there and I don't know why. I have no idea what happened there. Alright, so there's the things we killed and got toxic. That's just the building we were in. So immediately you can see archer firing at us, some buildings, a treasure, this freaking huge tower thing with a staircase that leads to nothing, and more of these harpies. Then over there, some more of these bloated guys prowling. So what we're gonna do is run and immediately deal with this guy. There's gonna be an ambush here as well. So these guys come up from the wall, just like in the Undead Burg. Then there's obviously there's a one of those guys inside there as well. You can see the fire hitting the wall. Alright, so I got toxic again. Might as well just take these guys out while I'm toxic then. So if you're wearing those robes I was wearing before, one of these guys exploding next to you won't toxic you because you have better toxin resistance, but since I switched to this armor set, looks like one of them will toxic you. So, yep, above there's a couple more enemies. Beware of them dropping down on you. There's another one of these fuckers across the way. We can actually deal with him at range here. Ooh, I don't think I went back and upgraded my bow. I meant to do that. It does dog shit damage unupgraded at this point in the game. It could be really good. Alright, see now that cloud came out of him, but we weren't in it, so it didn't actually affect us negatively. There's an item there that you can jump to. And then you can just come out here if you'd like. And if you're paying attention, you can see another ambush waiting for you. There's the glowing red eyes of the hollow. Bye-bye. So like I said, I'll do a little bit of exploring in this area. Now we're down in yet another, another little section with rats. So like I said, I'll do a little bit of exploring, but I'm not going to get everything in this area. I want to leave some things for you guys to discover on your own, and also I don't want to have to do it all. It takes too long. It takes too long. I'm excited to get this series all done and recorded and start editing them so I can get them out there. So to get back on track, This is where the guy that we just killed was. We were on the other side, but now we can be on this side. And egg vermifuge. The egg vermifuge is an interesting consumable. Another ambush out here. When they're climbing, it's they have iframes. But the egg vermifuge is an interesting item. We can get rid of that. Where is it? Removes parasitic egg from body. So, if you remember down in the Demon Ruins, or between Quelaag's... Jeez, I can't talk. Between Quelaag's domain and the Demon Ruins, there were these enemies that were on all fours on the ground, and they had these giant egg sacs on their back. And if you get close to the hostile ones, and let them bite you enough, you'll actually become infected, and after a while you'll sprout weirdness from the top of your own head, and the egg vermifuge will cure you of that. And it's actually, fun fact, one of the ways to unlock Engi as a vendor. He's the one who you have to say yes to in order to access the Daughters of Chaos bonfire in the first place. He actually sells some pyromancies, but he only sells to people who have eggs. Because remember, when he first talks to you, he says, but you have no eggs. So if you let yourself get infected, then go talk to him. You can access his pyromancies. So now, as you can see, we're staring up at this weird, like, Colosseum-looking thing. And if you want, you can come over here and climb to the top. We've already aggroed one of these bird things, so I'm just going to back off a little bit here. Again, you don't want to get grabbed by them. And I accidentally knocked it off, which I did not mean to do because it's not dead now. Which means it's going to come around. Yeah, it leads out somewhere else. I think that will lead it over here. Yep. Bye-bye. So that'll lead down into there. This way is ultimately where we want to go. And hey, look, familiar sight, undead dragon. Spoiler alert, if you approach it, it's not so dead. It's more un than it is dead. So if you'd like to, you can ascend these steps. Be wary of all these harpies and grab the items. I don't think that they're particularly necessary. So there's a fog gate down there. I'm trying to get my bearings here. So that way is to the boss. So does that connect to the courtyard? It's been a while since I did this. I actually did the Painted World not that long ago, but again, I did the skip, so I didn't do all of it. Let me remind myself. What's what here? There's a door here. Locked by some contraption, okay. Fair enough. So this does in fact lead to the courtyard. So this is a whole different section, and this thing right in front of us, you can tell actually if you look, it's not staying perfectly still, it's moving a little bit. That's what's known as the phalanx enemy, and it's inspired by an enemy from Demon Souls as far as I understand it. But if you approach, they're going to start hurling these fucking spears at you, and they do a lot of damage. And dealing with them is kind of hard because they got all these shields up. But the courtyard has some more stuff to explore. It's got a the well that you can go down into. So yeah, just narrowly avoid getting hit by that spear. The well's right there, by the way. It's got a ladder that leads down into it. So now they're spreading out. I'm just going to ignore them and run past. And come over here. And now we have a shortcut back to the bonfire. Because this is actually the front door to where we first came in. There it is. So you can ignore the phalanx if you want. I don't know that they're particularly worth fighting. But there's a lot of them. There's a lot of parts to this formation. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? So you see how little damage I did him because of his shield? Yeah. We're just gonna get out of here. It's not worth it. So again, that little shortcut's only necessary if you don't do the main shortcut for this area, but I encourage you to do everything. So I'm going to come back up here, and we're going to continue along the path that featured the undead dragon. So there's the undead dragon, and there's some pretty juicy looking treasures there, but of course we all know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to wake the fuck up. And it's going to chase us. So just turn around and run back. Here he comes. Now, like the other undead dragon, it can't fly, it can't jump around. Once it gets to this point, it just stays here. And again, it's going to use its grape jelly poison breath. So what you should be doing is baiting out one of its attacks and then moving to a different section where it's not attacking. It's got a lot of health. So it did the attack in the same spot. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, I'm almost toxic again. Jesus Christ. Back up, back up. There we are. Another undead dragon down. 5,000 souls. What did you drop for us? What do you know? Another dragon scale. This item's pretty cool. The blood shield. If I recall correctly, I think the blood shield was a player-designed item. Spoken of in the Lost Legends, the red of blood is slightly enchanted and boosts various resistances. I think of 70% of fire damage is blocked. Critical attack 100. There's something special about this shield, but I can't quite remember what it is. So in any case, if you look ahead, we see the butt of the undead dragon, and it's in our way. Because you want to go this way if you want to finish the Painted World. And you might be thinking, well, this is not really a good shortcut if you can't get through. And I don't know if it was ever confirmed to be a glitch or not. I think it was intended, but there actually is a way you can get rid of this. Or not get rid of it, but get it out of the way. The only way to do it is to do a jumping attack. And that makes it stand up. And it's silly to look at. Watch. Just pops right up. And it won't attack you. Now you can just walk through its legs and drop down, and the boss fog gate's right there. Whereas normally you'd need to unlock that other locked door and continue unlocking the shortcut so that you have a shortcut that goes all the way through. Also, by dropping down here, we can avoid an ambush with this fucker. I mean, we could have avoided it. I didn't avoid it, but we could have. Man, you blocked that. Sad. Didn't block that. Don't you fucking heal. Fuck you. Yeah, there's a bunch of hollows along this bridge. There's the other side of the door. And then this guy drops down. Large shard. At this point in the game, we deserve better than that. But yeah, here is the fog gate. Oh wow, this episode's really long already, but I think I'm just going to finish it off here anyway. This is the fog gate that leads you to Crossbreed Priscilla. Priscilla, Crossbreed Priscilla, if you'll notice, has a tail. And it's believed that she could be an offspring of Seath the Scaleless. She uses the Life Hunt Scythe as her weapon, which is pretty cool. She's annoying to fight because when you attack her, she turns invisible, and then you have to watch the snow and look for her footprints. She also has a tail cut, but you have to get it before the fight encounter starts to get it consistently because, again, she turns invisible. She doesn't have a lot of health, but the fight is kind of annoying. But the fight's also purely optional.
Who art thou? One of us thou art not. If thou hast misstepped into this world, Plunge down from the plank and hurry home. If thou seekest I, thine desires shall be requited not.
So, she says that if we want to return home, we can plunge down from the plank, and which is true. You can actually just leave the world by proceeding over there. You don't have to fight her, but we are going to. See if I can get the tail cut.
I expected
Nope.
as much from thee. Why
Okay, that second hit didn't even hurt her. Somehow it missed. So her life hunt scythe, yeah, immediately almost made me bleed. So if that bleed meter fills, it chunks your health bar. So it's dangerous because of the bleed. Oh yeah, if you do enough damage, she turns visible again. That was surprising. I wanted to get that tail cut. I did not, that's fine.
But why? What's it?
So, kind of mean to kill her, but I wanted to kill all the bosses in this playthrough. You don't have to, it's optional. And then, so I skipped like an entire area where you have to unlock that shortcut. I didn't fuck with the well, and I didn't go inside of the one of the buildings. I think you can get Velka's rapier in here. Velka, the goddess of sin. I believe the harpy enemies are somehow connected to Velka, but again, this episode's already long, and you've seen in essence what the Painted World has to offer. I think that's going to do it for this episode. And then if you want to leave, you just walk forward here. You take a nice little plunging leap of faith back into the real world. You can do it. And you come out back in Anor Londo, which means that you immediately are in the presence of all these painting guardians once again. I'm not going to fight them this time. I'm just going to run the fuck away. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth risking my 61,000 souls. Stay away from me. I've seen you vacuum backstab. None of that for me, thanks. So I'm actually going to drop down here and go rest at the Dark Moon Tomb bonfire. And then I will level up, and then that'll do it for today. So all that is left to us now is the DLC. This kind of snuck up on me. I thought the Painted World was going to take me a bit longer. Deciding to skip parts of it definitely speeds things up, though. But yeah, in the next episode we're going to be starting the DLC. The DLC is not going to be like a one and done, not like Painted World, I promise. The DLC has multiple new maps and 3 new bosses, so it's going to take us some time to get through. But I hope you are looking forward to it as much as I am. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.